What's up, A gang? We are back at it again with another freaking podcast, y'all.
What's up?
I have decided that I'm going to take y'all advice and I'm going to go ahead and name this podcast Yale Talk. So let me start over. Let me do the intro again. What's up, A gang? Welcome back to... Okay, let me do it again. I'm going to get it.
Take two.
What's up, Yale gang? Welcome back to Yale Talk, where we're going to talk about everything from parenting, relationships, business, the whole nine. But today we are talking about mental health again. I know, again.
It is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah, so this is the perfect time to do this. And if you guys notice, the beautiful lady next to me is Roxy.
What's up, everybody?
Y'all done seen her before on the first podcast, and we figured we need to run it back.
Yeah, we had to run it back.
Let's run it back because we weren't able to talk about half the stuff that we needed to talk about.
That was regarding mental health.
Yes.
That first one was about, it was some tea in that first one. It was too much tea. It was too much tea.
I tried to do like the little cuts, the little clips for social media. She was like, "Woo, you jumped right into it."
Asking all them questions, making statements, assuming. You remember that?
Asking all them questions.
I said, this is too many questions.
I was like, hey, I had to like will them in so they can tune in. So I had to put out the
juicy stuff. The juicy stuff. It's all good though, because we're gonna talk about a little of the juicy stuff and clarify some things, and we're gonna really talk about mental health because that's really what it's all about.
And I do want to put a disclaimer out there because I know how some of y'all be kind of a little, I don't know, sensitive about stuff. So we are going to talk about some serious stuff. These are events that really did happen in real life.
Really did happen.
We are going to probably laugh about it. And it's not because we're being insensitive or we're making light of the situation. It's because this has been a year-long journey for Roxy.
And a full year of recovery.
Literally a full year. So we've already been through the crying, the depression, and not just you, like... that depression hit me too because I'm like, what the hell is wrong?
You're like, what's wrong with her? This ain't her.
What happened? Is this the new norm?
You would call and our conversations be short, and it ain't never been short.
Yeah, so the tears have already came and gone. Now we can look back on these stories and laugh about it because you was funny as hell. I ain't gonna tell no lie. You was living your best life.
The very beginning of it.
Yeah, the very beginning. Towards the end, I was like, I don't know who this person is.
Yeah, the very beginning of it, y'all. I spiraled out of control. When I tell y'all, it was out of control.
Yes,
and it was literally being in that first facility. If y'all heard the first podcast,
make sure y'all go check the first podcast to
check
catch up.
The first one out to kind of catch up. But the first facility was literally like, for me, it was I'm ready to go to war. Because I had no idea what getting Baker Act was. Mm-hmm. I told them folks I wanted to go to sleep and I wanted to jump off a cliff into the beach.
And they was like, oh, she's trying to commit suicide.
Yes. And they was like, we finna Baker Act you.
Yeah.
Here I am thinking I'm finna go upstairs and get me some sleep.
You thought you was going to a hotel. A 5-star hotel.
Took me in the van. All I remember seeing was, well, first off, I was yelling to the top of my lungs at the hospital. Just like when I woke up, I was laughing, yelling, and I was talking about police brutality. I was talking about just stuff that was going on in the world. Like, I don't know if y'all heard about Sandra Bland, like all those different people, like all that stuff that be in your mind and in your mental capacity. When your hormones get crazy, you start spiraling out of control and all of it comes back. And I think that's why a lot of people don't realize that when you have mental health struggles, it stems from your childhood. Like it stems from growing up or your trauma, right?
Yep.
Like we all have trauma at some point in our life, whether we were 3, we were 4, we were 5. Well, and then I'm 34 now. So at 5 years old, I'm remembering stuff that happened in my household, remembering things that were not, all well. I grew up great. I grew up with both my parents, not saying that it was bad, but there were some bad things that happened. And a lot of things spiraled once I got into that facility.
Child, all I knew when you cussed out that damn nurse, y'all, we call Roxy the Southern Belle. She's just so
I'm a Capricorn,
sweet.
y'all. Ain't Southern Belle go out the window after
She
you
don't
make me
really
mad.
cuss much. And when you was like, bitch, something, and the phone hung up. So this was like my first conversation with her since I found out she was in the facility.
Yeah, because
And
nobody knew I was even there.
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Didn't even know.
First of all, nobody even knew we were taking a road trip. That was my I'm gonna give him a nickname. I'm gonna say PB. We're gonna call him PB.
We can't call them bananas in pajamas. We can't. That's a no.
Bananas in pajamas. We can say bananas in pajamas.
If a certain person.
Bananas in pajamas.
Bananas in pajamas. Hold on. Let's nickname it. Bananas in pajamas. BB.
Yeah.
Ain't that BB? Bananas in pajamas?
Bananas P. BP.
Oh, wait. Bananas. No.
We sleepy,
bananas.
y'all.
Bananas
It's too early in the morning.
It's what, 10 o'clock in the morning?
Bananas is a B and pajamas is a P. B.
Right. Oh, yeah, you're right.
There we
BP.
go. I had to
Okay.
sound it out.
We ain't had no coffee or nothing. Okay,
Right.
his name BP.
BP. So BP wanted to do the road trip. I wanted to take a flight. And y'all heard a little bit of this. Oh, excuse me. Y'all heard a little bit of this on the first one, so I'm not gonna go into the detail.
Right.
But bless his heart, first of all, because he said he ain't had no business being on no trip because he ain't had no money. And we shouldn't have been on the trip with no money. Right?
Right.
So it was already stressful for me because it was my idea to go. So I'm sponsoring this whole fiasco. Sponsoring the bullshit.
Right. Because you texted me, it was like, we're going to Atlanta. And I'm like,
it was supposed to only be Atlanta.
How old was the baby?
The baby was probably 3 weeks.
I was like, okay, who am I to tell you that is a...
The logic was I wasn't getting no sleep, so I might as well be in the car. That was not a good logic because your legs lock up, your blood ain't circulating.
And you were going days without sleep. Like it was...
Oh yeah, it was like 4 days without sleep. I was delusional, y'all. Yeah. I didn't understand where I was half the time. I didn't know what was going on.
Like talking out the side. Well, I wouldn't say that you was talking out the side of your neck yet.
Yeah.
You was just talking. Like it was just going, like going and going and going and going. It was like...
The pregnancy was over 9 months, remember? Because I was pregnant real long.
Yep.
And there was some trauma and some things that was going on. And none of it was BP. It wasn't BP.
No, some of it was probably my ass.
It was your ass.
And buying this house, stressing her the hell out.
No, it wasn't just, it was just...
a lot of stuff.
Being a real estate broker, first of all, I'm going to just say this. I'm going back to school to be a therapist because I've been being a therapist anyway for people.
Yes.
And
do it.
Do you know what my major was?
No.
I seem to have forgotten, bumped my head too because
I think you told me.
I was telling everybody I wanted to be an ESPN reporter when I was...
No, you was telling everybody that you was an ESPN reporter and you report... No, you're a reporter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. She was literally telling people like this was her real job. That she's a reporter for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I had hired an assistant in the facility and everything. I wrote it with crayon. I put that I was going to pay him a sign-on bonus of $20,000 when I came out. I was one of them people that was like, they done let me out this month. Like, they done let me out. It's time to go.
Y'all, she telling the truth.
I'm like...
Oh, and honey, she said she had wrote 4 books or 3 books or something.
In
y'all,
crayon.
These books were pieces of paper, scrap pieces of paper, written in crayon. Like, no, hey, listen.
So, and I was not humble at all when I got out of the first facility. When I tell y'all, God had to humble me. Ooh, because but it was also my hormones. And I was on medication. They had me on, I'm going to just say Abilify. Yeah. It was Abilify. It was Hardol. It was... What was it else? It was like 5 different medications.
Abilify was the main one, because you kept on calling it Abilify.
Yes. When they put me on that regimen, I said, it's Abilify because I feel like I can fly.
She literally was calling it Abilify. Like literally. But you know what? I'm gonna put it out there because there's a TikToker that I follow. Love her to death. I might share her page in the description if I can remember when I'm editing. And she was talking about how she had went into a mental facility and she was just outlining like, things that happened, blah, blah, blah. And it was different then. It was different, but it wasn't different. Like it was the same, but y'all perspective was totally different. Because I am a firm believer now, after you've been through a few facilities, that those facilities make you worse than what you really are.
They do.
They
really
make you worse because
especially if you are a mother or you just had a baby.
And they pump you with so many medications that you were one way before you went into the first facility. Yeah. When you went into that first facility, it was like you went nuts.
Yeah.
And I think it was the medication.
I was cussing people out, y'all. I was flipping over tables.
Yeah.
This is before like I got to my like soft life in the facility, because I was in there for a long time.
Yeah.
Like it was probably 3 weeks, right? Before I actually represented myself in court and got out of there.
Was it? It might
have
been.
It was because I was trying to escape. They gave me the shot so many times, like the shot where they pinned you down and there's 5 nurses on you. Oh, I was in there fighting dudes.
Yeah, because you told me somebody had punched you in the face or something. I'm like, hold on, they abusing her.
One of the techs actually punched me in my lip.
I hate to hear that.
Yeah, can I say the name of the facility?
Yeah, absolutely.
Coral Shores out there. Coral Shores out there outside of West Palm Beach. If y'all look at their reviews, they have like 1-star reviews.
Wouldn't give her proper. She was breastfeeding, so her boobs were leaking. Wouldn't give her proper stuff for that.
Yes, it was bad. And then some of the techs were like they were saying stuff. They were nitpicking. And that's when I had hung up the phone and I was like, like that's when I went ballistic.
She was poking. Whoever the tech was poking.
And when you were
trying to talk nice, because you kept saying like, hey, this and this. I don't remember exactly what the conversation was, but I remember you were talking really nice. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I heard you call her the B word, and you said a couple more words and the phone hung up, and I'm like,
oh, I was getting ready to fight.
I was like, who was that? I had never heard you talk like that before.
And then once you fight, I had just got off the phone with her, and she was like, you need to remain calm. You need to not get all uptight with these people, because they're gonna keep you in there longer. When I tell y'all, I was stuck like Chuck. And that's how I ended up being in there so long.
I'm gonna calm down. And then I get a report from them talking about you still being belligerent, and I'm like, I just told her.
And I'm gonna tell y'all what I did while I was in there. And this is crazy because y'all, I was in 3 different facilities. 3 different facilities. The second one was involuntarily. My mom and my sister ended up putting me in there. We talked about that in the last podcast. I had to represent myself to get out of there. I was trying to file lawsuits, all kind of stuff while I was in there. I'm reading the fine print on the wall. I read contracts for a living. I literally was like trying to get myself out of that second facility. But let me tell y'all what I was doing. I was literally in there meeting people, right? Finding out their need, finding out what they needed or what they did for a living, writing it down on a piece of paper, getting a pen and paper, and creating a job for them.
You up in there? You up in there being a boss?
Yeah, and it's sad because my addiction, what I realized, was never been drugs. It's never been like marijuana, any of that type of stuff. It is helping people,
right?
And I know like other Capricorns can resonate with this because we sometimes do way too much. Yeah, we do way too much for people.
You are the Capricorn. They do way.
Not no more though.
And it's a good thing when you know when to cut it off. You didn't know when to cut it off.
Yeah. And I didn't know how to receive help either.
No.
Like, I was the type of person, and I'm going to say this because this is what my mother says. She says, I'd rather be the lender, not the borrower. There's some pride in that statement. Yeah. It's okay to say that, but there's something very wrong with that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, all of us fall short, and ain't none of us really perfect. So we have to be able to humble ourselves to a certain extent, because some of us might need to be the borrower at some point.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Whether it's borrowing time, it ain't always got to be about money. Whether it's borrowing some help, whether it's borrowing, because time is big. Time is money, first of all. And when I tell you, this one right here spent a whole lot of time with me,
baby,
like,
a whole lot, because it was like, and then I'm not gonna say any names of people saying, you know, that you have. basically in so many words, not putting so much time into you at that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy to me because clearly there's nobody else. So if I decide to say, oh, she on her own, I'm not going to do this, who will? So then what, we just leave you out there to
fend for myself?
Girl, no, I wasn't doing that shit. I was not doing it.
She really wasn't, y'all.
Hell no.
When I tell y'all,
heck no. And which would bring us back to, I'm a double back to after you got out of the first facility.
Yeah.
And me thinking that you were good. I'm like, oh, she got out, cool. You flew back here.
Yeah.
And
the
fun police called me and was like, BP just called me and said that you need to get over to the house. The police is there. Roxy tripping.
Yeah, I was tripping.
So
y'all.
I get there.
I was tripping.
I walks in and it was like thick. Like the atmosphere was just thick. Like it was just, I don't know. It just was unsettling. And you was standing in the corner.
Spiritual.
You was standing in the corner with the baby. She had the baby in her arms and she was holding him tight. 2 police officers was there. Me coming in, still not knowing what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I walks over to her and I'm like, you good? And you was like, yeah. And you was talking out the side of your neck because you, hold on, this part is going to get a little funny. He was talking out the side of your neck. They was trying to give the baby to BP and you was like, no. You was like, no, I don't trust him. So I walks over and I like grabbed the baby a little bit and your grip got tight. And in my head, I remember thinking like, what is about to happen?
Yeah.
Like, has she lost her mind for real? Or is she just not sure if she wants to give me the baby yet? So she tells BP to stand in front of her. So he comes and he stand in front of her. Whole time she's still holding the baby. She asked the officer, who am I? I think you said, who am I? Yeah.
Look, that's one part that I don't really remember.
And you said, who is he? And I don't remember what they said. And she said, in between us is the Holy Spirit. And you start singing that. What was that song you kept on singing? If
you're feeling significant.
No, it was a funny song. It was like something, Holy Spirit.
Oh, Holy Spirit activate.
Yeah, Holy Spirit activate. Literally. So she's telling them.
That's a TikTok.
She said, in between us is the Holy Spirit activate. Holy Spirit activate. And the whole time, her face is blank. This is how I knew. This is how I was able to look at you.
For Cocoa Puffs.
I was able to literally just look at you in your face and knew that if you was Roxy or if you was somebody else, because your face was blank and you holding a baby and you're like, Holy Spirit activate. Holy Spirit. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay, so let me explain that real quick. I used to do that in the facility with a friend of mine. This friend was over 50 years old and we were like this in the facility and she was a Caucasian lady. And when I tell you that was my road dog, like we was up in there twerking, we was up in there having fun. When I got that Abilify to me, honey, it was fun. I was flying. Look,
they need to bottle that up and put that in and put that on the shelf.
That lady was my bestie in that facility. Okay. The funny thing is she told me she had like a $9 million house in West Palm Beach. I'm gonna go see if I can find it one of these days. But anyway, we were like super duper close, right? So she used to tell me, because I used to say, it's the devil on your right or Jesus on your right and the devil on your left.
Right.
She said, I don't even acknowledge the devil.
Period.
She said, oh, Jesus on my right, Jesus on my left.
You did. You kept saying that too. Okay, so that's where that came.
Right,
that's where that came from.
So it's in my book. Like I wrote a lot of this stuff down, y'all.
The crayon book?
No, my real book.
Okay. Yeah, I wish I could see
the shade.
I wish I could see this crayon book.
I need to take a picture and send it to you so you can link it in there. It's organized. It's literally like 4 books because I wrote stuff in every facility.
Yeah,
I was in 3 different ones.
It was organized,
and y'all gotta understand when you don't have access to your phone, and you talking to an entrepreneur who's been in business for 7 years, who needs to do things in order to function. I was up all night in the facility writing, like planning. Implementing. People that got up, I'm like, what you doing up? It was a girl that was in the third one, Mercy. Her name was Danielle.
For real?
Yes.
Okay, Danielle.
So I automatically consulted. Like in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is my sister. This my sister.
Y'all,
Like,
she
this
thought
Yale.
everybody was her real family.
She was-
Oh my God. And the
I
crazy
know.
part about it is, and there's another funny story that's funny now, but when it was going on, it wasn't funny at all.
Yeah.
Is making her take the medication.
Yeah, because so let's rewind to the when I got out of the first facility.
Right?
BP brought the full pill. I think
Yeah.
it was the Abilify.
Really?
It might have been. And the only reason I didn't want to take the medicine, y'all, disclaimer, is because I wanted to breastfeed.
Yes.
I could not breastfeed while taking the medicine. I had
And
some type
that
of
hurt you.
It
like
hurt
not
me
being
more than
able to
everything.
breastfeed, that got to you.
It did, because I breastfed my 8-year-old till he was 3. I know that sounds crazy,
Listen,
but he is the healthiest. He's the
He is.
smartest.
He's smart as heck.
He is a really great.
Yeah.
He's a really great child. The second one I breastfed maybe a couple of weeks
Yeah.
when I was in Gorge
Yeah.
before I got into facility. So anybody who came in the way of that was like
Off
dead
with
to
your
me.
head.
Yeah, like it was like, this is gonna be an issue. Like, this is a problem.
So anybody
that's
who
where it
tried to
came
make her
from.
take the medicine, it was like she would cut you
It was
off.
an issue, but I
So-
needed the medicine because
Yes.
I was delusional.
Yes.
Like, I didn't sleep.
No.
I didn't have my hormones together.
You-
I was all over the place.
You thought the police was after you.
Yes, because I thought the police was after me because of so much stuff that I said in the hospital, and the girl was like recording as I was moving out. So for some reason, I thought maybe I had secretly went viral somewhere on somebody's camera.
You thought you went viral.
And I thought the police was after me.
Yeah.
So I basically said, everybody cut your phone on airplane mode. You know, they after me, they watching me. I was literally paranoid all the time. And that's one of the symptoms of like postpartum, whether it's psychosis, whether it's amnesia, because I kept saying amnesia because you forget
Yep.
shit. Excuse my French, but
you
you I kept saying postpartum depression because it was depression once I got my baby taken away from me, right?
Yep.
And my baby was taken away from me from PB. It wasn't from anybody else, from his dad.
Yeah, it wasn't like somebody came and was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you're an unfit
He
parent."
decided that
Yeah.
I didn't need to be around the baby at that time.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest with you, the more that I sit back and I look at the whole picture and
Yeah.
the big picture, it probably wasn't
It
the best
wasn't.
because I was not well.
No,
right?
it wasn't.
It
but
wa-
you know, but that's why like
Family and-
anytime that when you did have the baby, that's why I tried to kind of be there often because I
Yeah.
knew you didn't need the baby, but I also knew what would come with it if you didn't have the baby.
Yeah.
So
Depression.
so I'm knowing that if you went that period of time without having your baby at all, the likely that you would have your baby in the end was very slim.
Yeah.
So it was like, we gotta help her. We have to try to help pretend that she's good with the baby so that she won't not have her baby forever.
Man, and for that, I owe you the world.
Girl, listen. Listen. 'Cause
I'm just a squirrel. Damn it, look, I'm over here freestyling. That's what the fun police for. But I'm just saying, on a serious note though,
Yeah.
like, man, I got you
Girl.
to the end of the
I know you
like
do.
for real.
I know you do, and I know if I was in your shoes, I know everything that I did,
Heck
you
yeah.
would do the same. I know,
In a heartbeat.
Yeah. So she, so the day that the police was there, and I went over there. Finally, after she sung her little song, she finally gave me the baby, and the police left. So I'm like, I'm kind of
Holy Spirit, activate.
So we like chit chatting and stuff,
She's
and of
all right.
course,
She's all
yeah,
right.
that's exactly what you was doing. That's exactly what you was doing.
It's crazy. I remember all this stuff.
Girl, so we chit chatting and stuff, and of course you're talking out the side of your neck the whole time. And I had to go take Lexi to practice or pick Lexi up from
Yeah.
something. So I'm like, all right, I got to get out of here. And girl, you start packing the baby bag, and I'm like, are you coming
Like I was
with me?
coming with her. I wouldn't let her go. Like
I was like, oh, okay. And
Bless her heart.
it's me, her, and the baby. We leave the neighborhood. There was a white truck sitting out in front of the house across the street. So we get onto the street, she swore that white truck was following us. It was a totally different white truck. She swore that truck followed us all the way from her house to Lexi's school, to the Target, to Walmart.
Because we went to Target and Walmart, and I bought a whole bunch of stuff I didn't need. I bought a baby stroller, bought a camera. I bought some earphones that I can't find.
Girl, I seen them.
Sony.
When you was moving your stuff, I seen them.
For real?
I could have sworn I seen them.
Because I ain't seen
I could have sworn I seen them, but
I bought all kind of stuff.
it was in a
Probably
bag
spent $700 of money that I did not have.
So I'm sitting in the car with the baby. We're at Target. I'm sitting in the car with the baby, and I'm calling everybody because I'm like, oh yeah, she's off her rockers. Like, she is tripping. Because of course I couldn't tell people when you was in the car. So I'm like making my phone calls, and she come out the store. Target associate had to help you out the store because she come out with this
because I had a big car seat and stroller.
Yeah, then you had bags,
everything for the baby, basically.
Bags of dye. She wanted to dye her hair. You end up having like 4 or 5 different.
The dye was from the movie that I thought I was in.
Yes, she thought she was in a movie.
My life was a movie. That's what I was telling people because of so much stuff that I had been through those facilities.
Yeah,
through the first facility. And I was just like, my life is a movie. I'm in a movie. So I'm going to dye my hair gray because the lady that was my best bud, we called her Storm. She had gray hair.
Yep. You had all that damn dye.
I'm Storm number 2. Yeah. We finna do this thing.
Yeah. So later that night, you buy all this dye and stuff. We come back to my house and BP comes, making matters worse. He comes with a suitcase and he's like, you're going with such and such. And
who was the such and such was I going with? Because I would have rather been going with him.
Luwanda was
that was the problem right there. I should have been going with him.
Yeah, he brought you a suitcase, baby.
And maybe he could have gave the baby to his mom. Now, everybody could have did something different when it came to how it worked.
Yeah.
However, it was nobody's obligation.
No.
So I appreciate
and it was
support.
New to everybody. So
it was new to everybody.
Know.
But to say him bringing the medicine, he was there. That night was when I was upstairs in your bathroom, and I was not coming out of the bathroom.
She locked herself in Lexi's
I locked myself
bathroom.
in the bathroom because I thought the police was gonna shoot me,
and only wanted to talk to the fun police.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk to nobody else because she had the baby.
Yeah,
these two was the only ones I trusted. There was a couple of other friends that I trusted in St. Louis. Y'all know who y'all are.
Because I think somebody called the fun police and said, go to the bathroom because she's saying that she'll talk to you. I forget who it was that called him. I mean, we was down here and that's when he went upstairs. But yeah, the police came. The police came because at this point we didn't know if
that was when
you need to be
PV called the police. Right?
But okay, let's back up just a little bit. So this is a piece of information that you didn't know, and I was not going to tell your ass then because we couldn't break down trust with everybody. Yeah, so we had to remain. We had to keep the trust with somebody, and the somebody was me.
Okay.
Because you had already decided that you didn't trust everybody else. So it was like, I have to be the good guy. So when he came, he was talking to the fun police that whole time, and the fun police told him, you're already the bad guy. You're going to have to continue being the bad guy. So we have to get her help. So, hey, you already in the fire. You're going to have to stay there. So that's what made him call, go ahead and call the police. So it made him look worse than what he really was because he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. And we always trying
he's a great father. He might be a lot of things. And there's some taking advantage that he did and some.
He's a cool dude.
There's a criminal case still, but he's a great father. Yeah. So let me say that.
The baby and Simba has been.
He alive.
Yeah, he's been well taken care of. Yeah, but then he brings you the medicine. Police come. Police told us it's not against the law to be crazy. That was their exact words. He said, unfortunately,
so I shouldn't have been in no mental health facility.
Exactly,
I should have been running around here spending all my money.
No,
and hiding away from people that was taking my credit cards.
Right.
I ain't gonna say no name.
Right. You had on the outfit. You lock yourself in the bathroom. Police leave. You come downstairs with a whole different outfit. Like, I said that
because y'all, I was smart. I was still prepared.
Yeah, she was
like,
smart.
Don't get me wrong. I had a bag of stuff. I travel for a living. Okay,
you was smart.
I'm always on a flight somewhere. So I was smart. I still had some sense. That's why it's interesting because although I was going through that stuff and my hormone, I literally had a bag of things for any time, any day, anything that was going on.
Yeah.
So and that's how I know
lady.
I accumulate. Yeah, bag lady. That was me.
Yeah.
I had too much stuff.
Yeah.
So every time we had a situation or a scenario, I already knew what I was going to wear, what I was going to do, how I was going to change, who house I was going to go to. I know a lot of people in St. Louis. Let's start there.
And you're smart.
Because everybody was kind of crazy. Everybody was kind of going crazy when I left. Remember I left and I went to Ryan's house?
Yes. I still feel bad about that situation.
Nobody knew who Ryan was. Nobody knew. But here's the thing. I've worked with some amazing people. I used to be with my old brokerage, which was CBG. It's it's different now, but whatever.
Right.
So there's a lot of amazing people that I worked with at that brokerage. They were like my family away from family when I first moved here. So I met a whole lot of people that I could call on.
You did have a lot of people.
And nobody knew kind of how to put, which is why I started putting people in groups. I had 20 people in the group message. I was trying to get everybody to know each other.
And was sending 20 messages an hour or minutes.
Like that cat, y'all just.
Yeah, and we all just like, okay, there she go. And then the one time where that same night, where you had changed clothes, you come downstairs, and BP was on the phone with the police. This is when he called the police. So he was on the phone with the police, and he was like, yeah, she just got out of a mental facility. She's refusing to take her medication. And Rossi she grabbed a bottle of water. She grabbed the medication. So we thinking she like, fine, I'll take the medication. Do you know this girl poured all the pills in her hand and dumped it into the water? Closed the water bottle up, did this, looked him dead in his face and said, what medication? This girl is a savage.
Did I do that?
Yes. You literally put all the pills in the water, did this, looked at him dead in his face and said, what medication? With a straight face. I knew you were savage when you did that.
Bless his heart.
I knew you were savage.
Bless his heart. We're gonna take a moment of silence for PB.
So
Lord have mercy.
So that's why I was on his side for a long time.
I know.
Because I understood. I was like, okay, he just doesn't know how to react or what to do. He's trying his best. It got to a certain point where I was not on his side, but I definitely was rooting for him for a while.
You was rooting from day one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you was day one.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, y'all, we first of all, let's start. This is mental health, right? Let's talk briefly about dating.
Okay, let's do it.
Do not date on potential. Don't date on potential.
Yes.
Do not date. Because if you can't deal with how a person is when you meet them, don't expect them to change. Don't expect them to change.
Especially when you get to a certain part, of your life or age. Now, when you 18, 19, 20, 21, okay, because
that's different.
Y'all all just...
But dating in your 30s, 40s, 50s.
You have to date with...
Stuck in their ways.
Yeah. Especially men.
Yeah.
Because the fun police like that, how the fun police is now is how he was day one. Like he still have his same ways. Of course, he's
different mannerisms.
He's changed a lot as a man because he got older.
Right.
But yeah, he's the same way. Like he is. Yeah. He's very stuck in his ways. He's an alpha male. And I love I
know that's right.
Your alpha male, honey.
Pick you up, throw you around.
Tell you
place
to
your
shut
feet
the
on
hell
solid
up.
ground.
Like I like that man that when I'm popping off and stuff and he be like, shut the up. I'll be like, okay.
Right. You want somebody that's going to take charge.
Yeah. So he does take charge. He's gotten better at like being a little more soft when it comes to dealing with me. Because at first he used to be so hardcore and it's like, dude, why you got to be so tough all the time? Like, I'm a girl. I can feel this.
I'm dainty. She ain't dainty. She just as hood as I am. Let me tell you.
Okay.
No.
So yeah, men, they change a little bit, but not like women. Because if you go back to the 18-year-old Danielle,
Yeah.
I am not the same.
Not the same, yeah.
I am not the same. So
people evolve, I feel like people evolve, but as far as like the potential of someone, you know what I mean? I was clearly dating potential, and don't get me wrong, like I'm going to say I miss what we had in that relationship.
Absolutely.
We had a good thing going because we were helping each other, business and all this type of stuff. However, it was a no from jump as far as how it started and how it ended.
Yeah.
I don't know if today, if a lot of things would have been different based on, my growth, my family getting involved.
Oh yeah, if everything that had happened and he stuck around that whole time, if it would have torn.
But that's neither here nor there. The reality is moving forward.
Yeah,
So let's get back to mental health. Let's get back to mental health.
We had an intermission. It's okay.
Had a little intermission.
Okay.
But yeah, y'all. So that first facility, now the second facility, I was doing the same thing, getting people's names and numbers. Figured out I knew somebody had a trucking company. I knew somebody who was supposed to teach people how to skateboard. All kind of just shenanigans.
I don't remember a lot about
the second facility because it was treacherous. Like when I tell y'all, it was literally like gnats swarming around.
What was the name of that one?
This was Baptist Hospital. Ironically, the same hospital I was born in.
Baptist Hospital, you will be found and you will be dealt with.
Right. I want to file a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot that went on in that facility.
I think they drugged you up more.
They drugged me up. I mean, hard all. Yeah. And I told them I was allergic to, it was one medicine that had me like, I couldn't even walk, y'all.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do
remember because when I got out of the facility, I was like hunched over. I was barely walking.
She was walking like an old person. And I think when I talked to
80
you
plus
in that second facility, every time I talk to you, you sound bad.
Horrible.
Like you barely was talking.
Horrible. And there was people on the outside giving inside people on the inside information on to increase dosages and all kind of stuff. And I don't know what all went on. I just know what hearsay was. And I know the conversations that I had with people when I was in the facility because I was writing down names and numbers. And Baptist Hospital, when I tell y'all, like, there were some scary things. My first occurrence there was a girl burning her hair. And she was literally like saying that F this, F that. Another girl was calling me all type of cracker. I mean, not cracker. She was calling me the N-word. She was calling me a whole lot of other things. I got in there at 2 p.m. I did not see a doctor until 2 a.m. The doctor that I saw was African American. They were like, you gonna love this doctor. So I'm like, you know what? Y'all something else. So finally, when they decided to Baker Act me because of the last Baker Act, which nobody knew that in Florida, once you're Baker Act the first time, if you go to the hospital again, they automatically Baker Act you. But I say that to say that when I got into the actual like Baker Act situation, my roommate was a roommate that I had met. She had been homeless for like 10 years. She was in the facility that long. So it was gnats in the room. It was gnats in the break room. There was gnats everywhere.
I remember you talking about the gnats.
And I'm going to put y'all on. Get some Febreze, spray the gnats. If you ever leave fruit out on and you come home, spray the gnat with some Febreze or something, and they wings, they fall to the floor. Then you can just easily wipe them up.
Shit.
Yeah.
Febreze
it's a repellent.
out here.
So
y'all
need the Febreze, need to send me a little something for that.
If y'all want to sponsor, just hit me up in my email.
But but I say that to say it pissed me off because the following day when I told the staff that, when I told the nurses and the doctors that, all the gnats were on the floor and they were crawling around and they act like they didn't use Febreze. I'm like, y'all could have gave me credit for it.
Right.
Like this was a week of me telling y'all what to do,
how to get rid of it.
But there was a young lady in Baptist Hospital. She was a tech. And this is what she told me. She said, my daughter went through what you went through. She said, it's postpartum psychosis. That's the only reason that I believe that I had psychosis. Right. It was not psychosis. It was bipolar. We
found out. Yeah.
But I thought I had psychosis, and she told me to take lithium. Lithium was the medication that they end up putting me on.
That's where you got that
That's
from.
where I got it from.
Oh, I never knew
Lithium had me big as a house. I gained more weight.
I'm gonna insert a picture. I'm pretty sure I got pictures of.
I have a really good picture of how big my face was. I was bigger than I was the whole pregnancy, even after the pregnancy. Yeah. So what comes with that? Depression. Like, who wants to be big?
You was like, look at me. I look like Rasputia.
Rasputia, I look like Fiona off of Shrek. That's what it was. When you blow up and then you come back down and you become princess.
And it's like, what do you do? What do you say to your friend? Because I'm looking at you and I'm knowing that your body has changed.
And you're watching me trickle down.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to get out of bed, y'all. I felt overly low, felt overly depressed. I wasn't able to see my baby. Like, they were keeping my baby away from me, which was a no-no.
Yeah. I
was probably talking junk. I was selling out on social media. I was saying some things that I do regret saying. But at the end of the day, like, I appreciate everybody who stepped in, who did help with the baby, whether you did it the right way or whether you did it the wrong way. There was no right or wrong because nobody knew what to do. One of the things my mother actually said to me the other day, she said, I just realized I got to get to know you because you left when you were 17 years old and went to college. That's
crazy. And I told her because when her family, and we're fast forwarding a little bit, when her family came here when she was in the third facility, her mom and her sister came here. And when I tell you her St. Louis people, we stood our ground because we knew what you wanted. We knew how you wanted it. And we knew what they were doing wasn't necessarily how you would have done it.
And how
so I'm not gonna say, I mean, we just stood our ground. Like, not saying like F your family or nothing like that, but it was just like we've had conversations with you.
Well, apparently I think what it was is they were trying to put me back in the facility, and that's where it went wrong. And they were trying to put me in Baptist Hospital. Speaking of facilities, y'all, I don't know if there's any investors out there, but my goal is to open up a mental health facility for postpartum moms specifically. I can partner with my University of South Florida, or I can partner with another school. But my major, I didn't actually say it. My major is communication sciences and disorders. I switched at the last minute because I couldn't pass the mass comm exam to be an ESPN reporter.
I got you. Okay.
And I was wasting credits because I took dual enrollment in high school.
Okay.
So it was actually sciences and disorders. So now I'm like, I can go get my master's in therapy, because we need more therapists that look like us. There's not a lot out there.
We do.
I do it anyway when trying to talk people through their real estate deals. But eventually I have a 5-year goal, but I want to actually open up a facility and partner with some people, with some investors for pregnant women, for pregnant moms, or moms who are breastfeeding that are going through postpartum.
That'd be dope.
Because one thing that I know is that you do not want to take a child away from their mother when they're going through that. You can monitor them, you can be there, you can,
but just
give them medicine,
take the baby.
But to take the baby away is a no.
So hard
and mental
to
health
watch.
Facilities are not for pregnant women. They are just not. And suicidal rates are at its all-time high. Like, women, people, anybody do commit suicide. But they can't do it in a facility, and you can be there to protect the baby as a nurse while you're in a facility, and that's definitely possible. I'm sure there's grants and stuff that can assist on that.
Because that was hard to watch. That was really hard to watch. You go through that, and then having your baby taken away during that time. I kept on telling you, like, girl, pat yourself on the back because you are handling it. I know it's hard, but you're handling it because
it was real hard.
I would have probably been blowing up houses and
I thought about it.
And
I went to jail, y'all.
I went to jail.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I went to jail,
but I feel like there was some BS.
It was
some BS.
It was some BS, and to be honest with you, like, I don't want to say too much because we still have active cases and stuff like that. To be honest with you, there were things that I probably would have done completely different had I been able to decipher things for myself and look at the whole big picture and have a conversation with PB. We had a conversation not too long ago. It was a while back, but I finally got to hear his perspective.
I got you.
Never really got that perspective.
Okay. I got you.
Even though it's still shenanigans, but
because I mean, when it comes to a mom and their kids, like, y'all know me, y'all know when it comes to these kids, I don't care how old they are, I go completely nuts.
Yeah.
Like, I'm coming for whoever. I don't care who you are.
And what time it is or what.
Yeah, I see we done drove up to Macomb 3 times within 1 week. Drove 2.5 hours up to her school to handle a situation, and then turned around the next week and drove up there 2 more times. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. When it come to them kids, I am all in.
Yep.
I don't care if they wrong, right, or whatever.
In between.
I'm going to stand behind them 1,000%. So I get it.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. So when it comes to a mom and her kids, and I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of men don't understand, because the relationship between a mom and her kids and the relationship between a dad and the kid is different.
Yeah.
It's just
completely different.
It's different. So I understand what you're saying, like, and it's good that you've seen from his perspective and, you know, see it in a different way. And
from a lot of people's perspective, y'all, I actually had lunch with Simba's grandmother.
That was great.
Yeah, it was very difficult to schedule it. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Very difficult to schedule it, but I had to kind of take a seat back and calm down and just really say, you know what, at the end of the day, my baby is still well taken care of. Like, even though, you know, circumstantial, they kept them away them couple of months. It's not happening now, but in the past, they kept them away a couple of months, and I would have not did it the way that they did it. But I said, you know, let me actually be the bigger person and just sit down. Let's see where we can go with it. And I found out a lot of things that I did not know. So sometimes you have to hear it from the horse's mouth. You have to, because I didn't have the ability to talk to a lot of people. I didn't have a phone. I was in a mental health facility, and my experience in those facilities wasn't like other people's experience, because I was a new mommy who only wanted to breastfeed. So, and I had a problem giving up control. I like to have control of things. I had no control in the facility. And I wasn't suicidal, because I couldn't wait to get out so I can get back to work.
Yeah, you wasn't suicidal. I never thought that you were suicidal. It was one moment that I was a little scared because they hyped it up. So when you had got the baby that time, she stole the baby. We ain't gonna say stole. When she got her baby back, she kind of did it in a slick way, because you showed and called me and told me nothing about it, because I was like, she probably thought I was gonna try to talk her out of it or something. I just get a phone call like, Roxy has the baby, we need a car seat. I'm like, a car seat? I'm like, she planned to get her baby and she didn't bring a car seat? But somebody else had brought her the car seat, and the other family was upset about it and was upset about with Charity for bringing a car seat. And I'm like, which I don't understand is that Roxy was going to take that baby one way or another. She don't care if she had a car seat. She don't care if she had to walk back home with that baby. That baby was getting taken one way or another. So we are here to make sure she's safe and she has everything that she needs to make sure that the baby is safe. Right. So Charity bringing the car seat was the right thing to do, because it was like,
shout out to Charity. I appreciate
shout out to Charity, because maybe you would have walked to a Target or a Walmart or something with that baby to get a car seat. I was walking
to Kohl's to get one. And here's what I want to say. I was taking my baby to spend time with him. Not taking him to keep away from his father. I would never do that. I didn't do that with my 8-year-old, and I wouldn't do that with my ex-fiance. That wasn't something that's not even my character.
Yeah, it's not.
So in their eyes, they might have thought or assumed that I was gonna take the baby to another state.
We wouldn't even have let you. We would have been in your ear like, no.
And when after they kept him away from me, I wished I should have did that. But that would have not been the end zone. Like, it would have always been, okay, here this is your father. Here's I'm not that parent.
But they hyped it up like something was going to happen to the baby. So then it started making me think like, shit, do they know something that I don't know? So I woke up I couldn't even sleep that night. I woke up super early and I'm like, let me go lay eyes on this baby.
They hyped it up. And apparently I was told that it was going around that I was giving my baby like table food. Girl. That wasn't the case. I put a little bit of cereal in breast milk, because he ate like a 1-year-old at 3 months.
I gave all I gave all 3 of mine cereal early
so
on.
I didn't like the fact that it was going around, or it was rumored that I was giving my baby table food.
And then
that
it was
pissed me off.
It was also, and that probably wasn't a rumor, but I knew you wasn't gonna do it. It was also a fear that you was gonna try to breastfeed him.
Oh yeah, that wasn't the case, especially if I was on medicine.
Yeah, so when I came to your house and I'm knocking on the door, you ain't answering. I'm calling, you ain't picking up, and I think I just went on ahead and did I walk in?
You probably did.
I probably did just walk in and come in the room. Baby, Simba was laid out in that bed, knocked out. He was sleeping good.
Sleeping real
good. He
good.
was sleeping good. And I was like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with this baby.
I had a fingerprint lock, y'all. She had it. I didn't leave my door unlocked.
No,
Let's start
no.
there.
We
She
had a code.
a print code and all that. To
First,
the
it
house.
was because we had to change the doorknobs a couple of times.
Yeah.
So first, it was a code to get in, and then we had the lock on there with it was a thumbprint. So I gave her privacy, even though I had access to get in every time I came over there, which was every morning
every now and then she would come.
I forget how long, because she wouldn't take her medicine. So we got to the point where we had to call in somebody else who was a little more stern. And she was so we were hiding your medicine. So this other person, do you want to say her name?
We can give her a nickname.
Proctor.
Proctor, so Proctor can get a medicine out.
So Proctor used to give her medicine at night, and then she would hide
every single day.
Yep, she would hide her morning dose.
Do Proctor like me? Shoot, are we? Is she trying to go together? She over here every day. I'm tired of seeing her. God dang.
Baby. So then it got hard because she would hide the medicine. So I would get there, and it would be some days where you will already be up, or I will wake you up, and you would get up and you'll be moving around. And I'm like, okay, I got to get to this medicine without her seeing me get to the medicine.
Yeah.
So then Proctor gave me a bunch of it, and I was just taking the medicine with me.
Oh.
And when I would come, I would give it. So I
remember. I knew what was going on.
So this girl gone. So I'm coming in the house because she wouldn't wake up because she was on a sleeping.
I was on I think it was Topamax, maybe.
It had her knocked out.
Yeah.
So I will go over there in the morning. I would knock first and call her. She wouldn't answer, and I'll let myself in. I have to go in her room and literally touch her or shake her to get her up.
Take out medicine, yeah. I'll take out medicine.
And one day, I come in there to give her medicine, and I shake you, and you looked up at me. You was like, "Oh, you my real sister." I was like, really, Roxy?
I think I remember that.
That's the first thing you could think about when you wake up.
Cause I'm like, she just here. How is she here? Like, you my sister.
You my real sister. So, but yeah, then she started taking her medicine, and when she started taking her medicine, the depression hit.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, it was bad. God, is the medicine making her do this?
It did. And a lot of side effects will show that it may cause depression. It may cause suicidal thoughts. Yeah, I had all that. Yeah. Like, it was literally like, okay, I don't want to, now that I don't have my baby with me, now that I don't have things together, this relationship just got completely ruined. Yeah. I don't want to be here, you know, and that's real. Like, you know, it got to the point where it was a true, like it was a true, I don't want to be here. Yeah, and it's surprising. It's surprising. It's really interesting to say that, because I never felt that I could get to that point. Yeah. But when I tell y'all I was at that lowest point, and that's when God started really speaking to me and really showing me different things and showing me people. First off, showing me people. Because when you at your lowest, it's a couple of trickle around that come by and see about you. But everybody that be around you when you at your height, don't be around you when you at your lowest. Trust and believe.
Not even to just check in. Like, I couldn't even let. And of course, I stepped back a little bit because I had been in your face for so long, like giving you medication, making sure I'm going to doctor's appointments. And I'm like, let me make sure that I'm not overstepping, or I'm not, you
never overstep,
pushing too much.
Ever.
So I would like let a couple of days go by, but then a couple of days go by, I'm like, let me send her a message.
Y'all know what I used to tell her? I used to tell her, if you see me post on my story, I'm all right.
Yeah.
If you see nothing on my story for a week or 2 weeks, I'm in the bed for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Call me, come by, do something, because it ain't right.
And then I remember one time I just popped up over there on you, and you answered the door, and you just broke down crying.
Yeah. I was depressed, y'all.
Girl, because for a long time I was keeping up with you by girl,
and it was the wrong regimen. I'm gonna say that because I don't want to say that medicine was bad.
No,
but keep going.
So it was a time that I was keeping up with your whereabouts through your Tesla app. Because you had logged in from my phone.
So you knew where I was.
So I knew where you was. So if I wasn't like communicating,
smart.
If I wasn't communicating, it was like I was keeping track. So people were calling me to figure out your whereabouts because they knew that I was logged in. And I ended up getting a new daggone phone. And when I switched over to the phone, it logged me out of it. And I didn't have the login to get back in.
You should have told me because I would have gave it to you because I always had her driving the car doing so. It was always something. I had everybody driving my cars.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't care about material things.
Don't.
Y'all will learn quick. I drop my Jeep off or my Tesla in a second to somebody.
Yeah,
because somebody did it for me. My ex, MC.
Oh, I like.
That's the GOAT.
That's my boy.
We still friends.
Yeah, that's my boy. Because he was the person we called when you went to the first facility, and we like, hey.
Yeah, he was getting ready to come. He was getting ready to pack up his girlfriend and everybody else, and they was finna drive. The girlfriend too, honey. They was finna drive down to come and get me. That's the real friend there.
Yes.
And the ex.
It was one day that. Okay, so let's back up. So I forget which facility you had gotten out of, and you went completely nuts. So I go over there. I'm going over there because I'm like, let me make sure she's good. I don't remember. All I know is, baby, you had a radio in your bedroom blasting. She got one of the refrigerators with
that play music and stuff.
So she had the
$4,000 refrigerator.
She had a radio on the refrigerator blasting, and
it was all Christian music.
You was sitting at your piano playing music and singing all at the same time. So I'm over here like, what the hell? Then you had the shower on because you was gonna take a shower.
That was Baptist. That was the second facility.
Okay, so I'm steady trying to turn the shower off
because I actually experienced somebody putting voodoo on me in the second facility.
Girl,
I died and came back alive,
baby. And you sat down for like a second. It's like you can't see your senses.
When I got out, I was like thanking God. I was overly holy. I was
she
outside screaming in worship. I know my neighbors thought I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah,
I'm out there hallelujah.
And you sat down for a split second and said, call the phone police because I'm scaring you. And I was like, you not scaring me? I just don't know what to do. So I probably had it written all over my face like, what the hell do I do now?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sitting over there till like maybe 3:00 in the morning, and I'm pumping her with sleeping pills. Like, I'm trying to give her Benadryl.
Benadryl. You did. You gave me so much Benadryl. Y'all know Benadryl actually keeps me awake now.
That's Lexi.
That's how much I had.
That's how Lexi was.
Benadryl does nothing for me.
That's how Lexi was when she was little. Benadryl did the opposite.
Benadryl does nothing for me.
So anyway, I got her to the point where I thought she was calm enough to where I can go home. She's on live with some random guy. Right, I might link his information, y'all, if we can find it. And he did a really good job. Like, at first, I won't say he was a butthole, but at first, I don't think he understood what was happening. And I think eventually he started realizing that, oh, wait, something is wrong. And he handled that situation really good. So she's on live with this guy. Y'all, Roxy had on a shower cap.
It was bad.
And a wig on top of the shower cap. So you can like see the shower cap. I'm gonna link it. You can see the shower cap and you can see the wig on top of it.
Because it's hilarious.
Baby.
It's funny.
And then he got to asking you if that was your real hair. Girl, you done whip the wig off, whip the shower cap off so that you can show your real hair. She gave a tour of her house. She didn't open up her garage. The door to the garage to show her Tesla and her Jeep. She done showed the damn cats, which them cats were some demons. You done showed them your medication.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I swear to God. I swear. So I haven't showed her. I have screen recordings.
Mental health is real, y'all. Mental health is real. Go get help.
And I've been showing her clips little by little, and I've been holding on to these videos for so long because I didn't think that she was ready to watch them at first. So I showed you a few clips, but not all of them. And one clip that was so freaking funny is you kept on saying that you had this piano. So you kept showing him this piano. Okay. And you was like, I'm going to sing for you. And he was like, nah, I don't want to.
Right. I think I remember that. He like, nah, I'm finna mute her.
And she played one tune on that piano and he muted her. So she on there playing and singing, but you can't hear nothing she's saying.
And I'm just in La La Land, just,
How you doing? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like,
You got locks. I'm finna lock my hair up.
Your hair up under that?
So I need
Look. Man, y'all check this shit out, man. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. She gotta be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, y'all. She gotta be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
I probably was singing Yolanda Adams because that's the only thing I felt like by myself.
Ain't no telling, but yeah, I'm steady. I'm on, and then some people did get a little disrespectful in the comments.
Yeah, it was like she got a mental health problem. She really
like, where's her friends at? Where's her family? She needs help. And then one person was like, oh, I see why she got her kids taken away. And it was like, no. Correction.
Right.
She did not get her kids taken away. You are misunderstanding what she's saying. But yeah, you showed all of your medication.
That is horrible.
Yeah, it was.
And y'all, back then I was not taking my medication.
No.
So it was all bottled up in a Ziploc bag.
Yes.
I would, go pick it up and it would be a whole lot of pills. And 30 days supply. I mean, inbox me for the low. No, I'm just playing.
If you need the medication, I got you.
I got everything. I got what you need.
She do, but she not selling it. But yeah, you do.
Yeah, I ain't selling it. But y'all, when I tell y'all, I have a new doctor now that got me on the right regimen. Oh, it's the right regimen.
I'm so happy,
and he looked like me.
I am so happy.
He looked like me.
I'm so happy.
He's from Nigeria.
I'm so happy. Do you want to share what your actual diagnosis is? And
bipolar.
I was so happy when was this a couple of weeks ago we was talking.
Highs and lows. That's basically what it is. Everybody bipolar in a way.
Yeah, I was so happy when you said it, and you said it because we went through a phase where you was in denial about a lot of stuff. Like you thought you was perfectly normal and nothing. So when you said it and you was like, yeah, that's what it is, and you owned it, I was like, it was like a weight kind of, because it's like it's like we know what the issue is, we know how to fix it, and we can move on because there's nothing wrong with bipolar. Like bipolar does not automatically say, oh, you're crazy. No, it's highs and it's lows, and that's what your ass be having.
Yeah, and I feel like I had ADD because I'm all over the place and looking and doing this. I was the only one doing the FCAT. People in Florida know what that is, but I was the only one doing the FCAT, looking around the room while everybody was doing their tests.
Yeah.
Like to pay attention or focus to stuff used to be difficult for me.
Yeah. So now, is it like with the medication that you on now, are you able to focus?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been able to focus for a long time.
Right.
But as far as like the bipolar disorder and all of that, that's completely, I'm completely healed. I'm good.
I'm
good.
I'm
good.
Gucci.
I'm good.
I would say even looking back at the last episode we did together and looking at this one, it's two different,
night and day.
Yeah. And you
I was still a hint of depressed.
Yeah.
The first
because when we turned the cameras off, you went back into like your shell.
Yeah, I probably went to go lay down.
Yeah.
Go lay down. That's what my friend on TikTok be saying.
For real.
Harmony, that's her name. Harmony. Is it Harmony? Maybe it is Harmony. That's my niece's name too. But anyway, she was like, I'm about to go lay down.
Oh my God. Did you have any other stuff on your notes that you wanted to touch on that we ain't touch on?
You know what?
Look at them. Let's look at it. Because I have no rhyme or reason for these podcasts.
Oh, this is juicy, y'all. This is juicy. Don't be letting everybody just let loose in you, okay? Go get married. Because that's a soul tie.
It is.
It's a soul tie. And especially if you know how they say you're not supposed to do stuff while you're on your cycle.
Ooh. So that's a thing.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You wonder why you stuck on it. Was a long period of time that I was still stuck on PP.
But you know what? Not as long as some of these women. Like you are doing really good.
Yeah,
because,
I mean, we dated, got engaged in a matter of 6 months.
Yeah.
So we.
I mean, you got to think. Me and the
I was
fun
pregnant
police,
by month 4.
Oh, me and the fun police. I was probably the same. Me and the fun police got together probably around September, October. I was pregnant with Lennon. I had Lennon in February. So have been pregnant with him when? Shit, soon. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I had a tattoo. I had the tattoo of his name on my back like a month in. We had went on a vacation like a couple of weeks after we start talking. Like he took me to Atlanta for the first time. We went on this nice vacation. We stayed in this nice hotel and stuff. We was shopping. He was buying me stuff. Like it took off quick, and then I got pregnant fast. Yeah. So by the time Lyndon was born, we had only been together for a year.
He took you shopping. He was buying you stuff.
Yeah,
he was buying you stuff,
and it's not all about that. But
I was buying
you was the
and it's not supposed to be like that.
No,
and I shouldn't. I don't want to throw him under the bus because
right, absolutely.
We just were on 2 different playing fields, and that's okay. You know what I mean?
Because for somebody else, he probably would have been. Just great, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But and y'all know I'ma always brag about my friend because let's call a thing. Like you have accomplished, you have accomplished a lot, and you are a lot further in life than most people in their early 30s. Because you got to think, you're 34. You've been making shit happen for a while by yourself.
For 7 years that I've been in St. Louis.
So when the fun police got with me, of course, the fun police was further along in life. He had a career. He made good money. And here you got this girl that just graduated high school. Matter of fact, fun police was at my graduation. Literally. Aww. Yes, he was at my freaking high school graduation.
Sweet. Now y'all almost done, and
I had nothing.
Out the house.
I had nothing. I had never had a job before. I had a car, but it was a car that my mama bought me, and then he ended up buying me a car right after that. He bought me.
So y'all grew up together.
So we grew up together. So I had nothing, but where he was in life, if he would have gotten with a female that made a lot of money, had her own house, he probably wouldn't have been compatible with her because of his personality. He's an alpha male. So of course he's not gonna be attracted to.
I used to be an alpha female.
You are an alpha female. You're an alpha female, but you're one of those alpha females that don't have to be an alpha female. If you had
I can sit back now. I can sit back. Absolutely. I can sit back and say, yes, I'm master.
Yeah.
What do you like? Whatever you like. Like Coming to America. Whatever you like.
Because I know people who are alpha females who will not take the back. Like they not taking no back seat.
I'll take it quick.
Yeah.
Especially if you allow me to. Say less.
Right. So he's probably a great guy for somebody that's not on the level that you're on.
Yeah.
If he was to meet somebody that was his equal.
Well, let me not say that.
If he would meet somebody that his equal, I can see it working. Yeah. I honestly can. You're going to have to start.
Well, he was engaged twice. So I don't know what, but we're not gonna go there.
And look, I couldn't even get a man get engaged to me. Shit, me and the fun police was together 10 years before he proposed.
Oh,
right. So shit. I mean, at least you.
But y'all got to know each other.
Yeah, but baby, I wouldn't wait another 10 years.
I'm working on number 3. I might say no, but I'm working on number 3. 3, 4, 5. I probably say yes by the 5th. No, I'm just playing.
As long as y'all are at least on the same playing field. Because what you said, don't date off of potential.
But let me get this disclaimer. I don't mind dating somebody that is not on my playing field. I don't mind that.
Really?
I don't mind it. However, you got to come to the table with everything else. Like,
I got you.
You have to come to the table with everything else. And I think Steve Harvey was talking about this on something. He was saying, like, if a man makes less than you, would you still date him if he taking care of the kids, if he doing this, if he cooking, if he doing... To be honest with you, I think teamwork is a partnership, no matter how you look at it. It ain't always got to be about money. Absolutely. It could be about sacrificial time. It could be about being there for your kids, picking them up from school.
True.
I don't mind.
True.
Which is why I was in that situationship.
Yeah.
But
me, on the other hand,
at the end of the day, now that I've learned from it, and I got things happen with the criminal case and all other stuff, and I've learned, I will not date anybody that is really my age, if I'm being honest with you.
You know me. I feel like the older man,
the older the better.
An older bald head man.
And I got daddy issues. So 50, 60, 70. No, just clear. I ain't got daddy issues. I love my daddy, but he's not here. He's deceased. But yeah.
I just want to see you. I want to see you give your time and effort into somebody who not only has the potential, but already has something to bring to the table. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not necessarily on the same playing field, but somebody that at least has something that they're bringing to the table
that can pull me up, not tear me down. Because you're either going up or down. I just had this conversation with a friend earlier, and that's one of the things that he was saying. You either going up and down, and some people have the ability to tear you down.
Yep. I preach this to Aaliyah all the time. Stop dealing with these little dudes that don't have nothing going on, because you're going to be the one stuck dragging them along with you. And sometimes the load gets too heavy where you can't drag them. So you'll end up staying where they at, and you won't. You won't thrive. You won't thrive. Yeah. So
it's true, y'all. It's true.
But that would have to be. I guess we'll have to come back with another
for a dating podcast because it's mental health one, y'all.
Yeah.
Let me make sure.
Look at your nose, y'all. She doing so good with. Me and her the same when it comes to we be all over the place, and I don't have a routine right now, and I do need to get back to a routine. So she's scheduling stuff. She's keeping
she should
notes.
be so proud. Like I have a to-do list. I have everything written down.
If y'all see her little, you got something else on there that you need to?
I think that's just about all. I mean, all in all, it's just y'all. Mental health is real. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. Check on your friends.
Check on your friends.
Check on your strong friends. Yes. Because a lot of people have the ability to feel like, oh, they good. They don't need nobody. Nah, man. I wished that my family came and visit me more often in St. Louis. I wish that they took effort or took time, or anybody took time. And I'm not going to say that they didn't, because I had a lot of family members who did.
Yes. Yes. They came down here and had a party, baby. They came and was turned.
Had a real party.
I like this family. Yeah.
So yeah, that part. We need to talk about all that playing around and me dressing up as Beyonce and singing songs.
Yeah, I'll show y'all some clips.
Yeah, show them clips, because I just knew Beyonce was my sister. On. Oh, and that time when I stayed in that hotel and I was crying and I called you crying.
Oh,
I thought my past client was my daddy, y'all. I was all over the place. But I say that to say, like, mental health is real.
It is.
And when you hear about when you have things in your family, whether it's molestations, whether it's just different things that happen or whatever, you get to the point where you feel like it's you when your hormones are outrageous and you cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah,
you are.
literally.
So you have to be intentional about just keeping your mouth closed. Don't talk too much if you're going through it. Because you might be talking crazy. And don't know it, because I didn't know it.
And seek help. If your family, if you have multiple friends and family that's coming to you and they're saying you're not okay, you need to get help. And I know everybody don't want to be on medication, because I'm one of those people. I don't want to be on medication, but if I know that I need it and it's going to help me get through life, it is what it is. Like, take your medication. And then also get a second opinion too. Like, because remember the one doctor that you was going to, I'm like, why he didn't, because when you told me you was getting a shot now, I'm like, well, why the first doctor ain't do that? Like, if that was an option.
He didn't care, y'all. He didn't care. Our appointments, and this is a psychiatrist, our appointments were maybe 2 minutes long. And I'm not, and he left and opened his own practice, but he literally would ask me, how are you doing? How you feeling? Okay, I'm going to prescribe you this.
Yep.
My new doctor, we in there for 30 minutes. We
Yeah.
having a whole
I love
conversation.
it.
We in there minimum an hour. And I used to say to my old doctor, like, hey, ain't it like, y'all charging me like, ain't this an hour that we get to talk?
He was in and out. He was
like,
a foreign guy. What was, I don't remember his name. Do you remember his name?
Gorthy.
Gorthy. Here in St. Louis.
Gorthy, Dr. Gorthy.
Yeah, just so y'all know, because he knew you wasn't taking that medication.
Yeah, because it was one appointment. He was like, you know what? I don't really care what you do. Take it or don't take it.
Oh, I wasn't at that one. Because
Proctor was.
Oh, she was?
She was. And that's when she was like, I don't like this doctor. I don't know what. So yeah, it was. But my new doctor, when I tell y'all he owned it, he be asking personal questions too, like what happened in your life? Who in your life? What
love
changed?
it.
You got a man? Do you not? Okay. He be asking.
I love it.
He be asking all kinds of questions. So we have a conversation. Like my doctor now is like, like we here.
Yeah.
We here.
So find a good doctor. Build a relationship with that doctor. Come up with a plan. Stick to your plan. I am so happy, y'all.
I guess
so
since I shouted out the bad doctor, let me say the good doctor. Dr. Peters is his name.
Dr. Peters here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I have not seen her be the real Roxy in so long. I mean, she's been the real Roxy for a little second now.
She has not seen me not depressed, because I was depressed, y'all. I was depressed. It was draining. I know it was draining for you, because me and her get on the phone and we'll talk for 2 hours about all kind of plans and potential
randomness. But we was having a conversation. It was like, I'll ask you a question, you'll answer it, then you'll get quiet, and I'll be like, okay.
Right. It was awkward. We had nothing to talk about. I'm like, this ain't right.
Yeah,
like,
I start questioning myself. I'll be on the phone with Kim, like, I be trying to tell myself that it ain't me, it's her.
It was
because
me.
It'll make you feel like, damn, did I do something? Did I not handle her affairs like she would have wanted me to?
No, it was never you.
Yeah,
it was all just not being. It was all being away from my baby, and then not having the right support and the kind of support when it came to my family. My immediate family, I should say.
So when she went when she got admitted into the third facility,
Mercy Hospital treated me the best out of all three. St. Louis, Mercy Hospital in St. Louis. Thank y'all.
So long story short, she goes into the ER, but they have her in like the psych part of it. So I goes up there to see about her, because we didn't know where she was at. Her car was showing that it was at one location, but it wasn't even there. So we didn't know where she was at. So we find out where she was at. So I remember walking into the ER, and as soon as she saw me, she's like, "Hey, Yale." She was like, "Guess what? I got waxed today. Look." And then she flashed me to show me that she got freshly waxed. I was like, "Oh my."
Yeah. I thought I was in a movie, and I thought that PB was actually tricking me, and he wasn't actually broke or in between blessings, and he was this rich, wealthy person who was going to come and say, "I got you. Now it's time to get married." I thought I was on Married at First Sight.
Girl. And then, so they got her in like the hospital stuff. So she had like a top and a bottom, and she was walking to like the nurse's station to get a comb, because she wanted me to braid her hair.
My hair to put my wig
your
on.
pants were falling down, and you didn't have nothing on under it, so your pants kept falling down. And baby, you wasn't trying to pull them up; they was just at your ankles, and you was just steady walking. So then she comes back in with this comb, and one of the nurses, he was fine too. He was a little white guy. He was cute.
He was. I was flirting with him.
So he come in there, and he was like, "Hey, there's drawstrings on the pants to tighten them up." And you was like, "Oh, it is." You was like, "Here, help me." And you like did this towards him, but your pants was kind of down. So he's like, so he's kind of like trying to pull him up, and he's like tying him for her, and you just standing there like this, letting him.
I remember that.
And he
was real cute.
He was. And I braid her hair down, and we put her wig back on, get her together. And then I did this video I'm finna show y'all. I'm recording. Yes.
Hair from that niece, little sister. I speak a Creole. So I said, "Na boule." Now I'm gonna get my makeup done by my sis. POP holding down on the little line.
Yes, and that was her.
Yeah,
in the
I'm a little
third
ashamed.
in the third facility. Hey, it's
I just
funny
knew
now.
Kim was coming to do my makeup, and we was getting ready for the wedding.
Girl, and I called Kim because you had me convinced. And I called Kim when I left, and I was like, "You coming up here?" She was like, "Nah." I was like, "Oh, girl, she think you coming to do her makeup." Kim was like,
Because the
"No."
third facility, y'all, I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I just knew I was getting the wedding was being planned, and magically it was just supposed to happen.
So we are going to have more podcasts with Roxy. We're going to talk about some other stuff because I want y'all to really experience the person that I know.
I said I'll be down here monthly.
Yeah, so we're going to schedule a podcast every time she's here because she's living in two places now. She's in St. Louis, but she's also in Florida. So she's been commuting back and forth.
Yes.
So whenever she is in St. Louis, we'll schedule a podcast. Make sure y'all tell us in the comments what other topics y'all want to hear me and Roxy talk about.
Yes.
I honestly think we should do relationships,
Heck
dating.
yeah, because we can talk about that for days.
Yeah, and it'll be two different perspectives. You got a single lady who dated, and you got me who ain't dated.
And y'all, I had fun. I done dated some football players, some NFL players. Listen, I had fun.
Okay.
And dating don't mean that you sleeping and kissing everybody. Okay,
No.
dating means you're getting to know them.
Right, absolutely.
So even if you going on a date with this person, you just get to know them. You ain't got to sleep with everybody. When you spend too much time with them, you bound to sleep with them. So just spread it out.
Spread it out. We're going to go ahead and close this out. Make sure y'all leave us a comment on what other topics y'all want to see me and Roxy talk about. I plan on bringing some other people on. I think I'm going to bring my mom on. I want to bring my sister on. And I want to bring Lexi on. So y'all need to flood Lexi's comments and tell her to do the podcast because Lexi playing.
Yes.
She is not letting me do the podcast. But that is it. And I feel like this one is going to be long, but it's going to be good, honey. So I'm not editing
and
nothing
y'all
out.
follow my little page.
Yeah, go follow her. I'll put her information in the description. And if you are in the St. Louis, the Missouri, Florida, Alabama, Texas, and you need a house, honey, y'all need to hit Roxy up, okay? Because she out here doing big things.
Doing big things. And you need to come on to pilot school and finish with me.
I am. We going to pilot school. We going to buy a plane.
Yes.
We are. That's in our plan. That's in our 5-year plan.
That was our conversations before all this shenanigans happened.
Right.
But
so
we back at it, but we bigger and better than
before.
before.
Bigger and better, honey. I love to hear it. All right. So this is the end of this podcast, y'all. Thank you for coming, hanging out with us, listening to us chit chat. But as always, until next time.